Welcome to On the Chain.
Blockchain backer.
Blockchain backer.
Hey.
Do it. Come on,
What's
everybody.
going on, guys? Absolute pleasure to be up here on this panel with you guys. I don't have any type of like prepared remarks or anything like
I thought you were going
that.
to tell them to get some charts. Guys, start reading
No,
some
I
charts.
I just kind of
Fibonacci
wanted
one
to just speak the things that were in my mind and what came to my mind as I was watching. And I'm sure you'd like to be asked questions and stuff. And you know, I know that you guys probably do get told, you know, thank you so much all the time. And maybe it's hard to like let that resonate within you. And maybe you both understand what I mean within that. Like I've been doing this for a long time. There's always at the end, I say, hey, if you ever need to pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. And when people tell you thank you so much, and you read it on the screen and you see it so much, and we're not at the end of the case yet. And so like, I assume there's part of you that's kind of like holding, you're like, yeah, thank you, but you know, we haven't gotten there yet. But John, and the fighting that you're doing on behalf of the XRP community and the people involved is that there's a lot of people who feel victimized. And you give the people the feeling of hope, and that is a powerful feeling of having hope. You know, that's why, you know, Barack Obama ran specifically on the word hope. It's because it's so powerful to just have some. And it's thank you very much for doing everything that you're doing. And we don't know how it's going to go, and you know what the end is going to be, and all the effort that you're putting into it. And in the end, there is a massive appreciation of you giving people that hope. So thank you, John.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Blockchain.
Yeah, man. Jeremy, I haven't actually watched the entirety of your last video that you did. When I came on to Chip and Jeff's show recently, they asked me, what am I binging on Netflix? And I actually did watch the first few minutes of your last episode that you put out. But what I forgot to mention to you, Chip and Jeff, is that I am notorious for binge watching shows and not watching the last episode because I don't want it to end. If I watch the last episode, it's officially over. Otherwise, I can always sit there and wait for that last show, you know, to happen. And it's not over for me yet. I still know it's there for me to watch. But Jeremy, you know, like I just said, that pick me up with a little bit of reassurance. And you helped guide people in a very scary and dark world that we just don't understand what is going on. And it's hard to put into the words of how appreciative people are. I hope you at some point get an opportunity to meet multiple people in real life for them to express that to you. I went years having people type it on a computer screen and me reading it on a computer screen to have that happen. But still staying humble within myself because not feeling like the job was done. And then when some people approached me in real life and they were like very sincere about this in real life, it just was like, wow, really? Because it just doesn't feel that real through the computer screen for some reason. But when they're saying it to you in real life, and again, that feeling of hope, that feeling of understanding, you don't realize, Jeremy, what you provided to people with that. If you get nothing out of this, however this goes, there's this 2-year moment of your life, Jeremy, where there was a massive group of people that you helped feel better. And just know that that's special. And not a lot of people get that, man. And I'm super grateful for you. And I am hoping that you will eventually put out another episode and I can watch that episode at some point. And there's a lot of other things in crypto that you could cover that we would all just love watching. But it's like me, man. Am I going to make videos about news? I don't care about news, dude. I want to look at, you know, squiggly lines and mathematical stuff. That's what I care about. I have to cover the news once in a while, but, you know, like, whatever, man. Squiggly lines, dude. but hopefully you can find something that you enjoy doing, because otherwise you're not going to be good at it. But that's the part of it. It seems like you thoroughly enjoy doing what you're doing. I'm rambling at this point, man. I didn't even ask you a question, bro. But God, man, I know that people are feeling this way because I see them type it to you all the time. I've seen that stuff typed to me. And I know there's a part of humbleness that you guys both carry with you, and humility that you carry with you, because the job's not done yet. And it's hard to celebrate that. But and we don't know how it's going to end. But when it does, man, gosh, like there's this big victory in your life that you, whatever law case you ever win again in your life, trust me, it's just when you go to heaven, when you speak before God, it's going to be, or, you know, whatever you believe in, it's going to be that moment that you did something really good for the world. So just know that, man, both of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. And then I will ask one question, because you said you think you know what the SEC's end game is, Jeremy. You think you can vision it of what it actually is. Can you summarize that real briefly, what you think it really is, the end game?
Yeah, I did throw that out. So I've been thinking about this for the last week or two, and I think, you know, what they're doing here is with the injunction, what the SEC really wants to say is that XRP is a security, just like a share of Apple stock is a security. But they can't say that because they know if they go in front of the judge and say that, Judge Netburn already told them what the reaction will be. It'll be ridicule and they'll be like, this is ridiculous that you're even arguing this. So instead of saying XRP is a security in of itself, they're just arguing that with when Ripple sells it, when Library sells it, it's a security, and it can't change that attribute. I've actually had an SEC attorney basically tell me that on the phone. So they can't say that in court. So what they're doing is they're trying to say it without saying it. And the end game for me is that the reason why they can't say it, and the reason why they're making the argument, is because I think with the new enforcement attorney at the SEC is a smart guy. And I don't think Chair Gensler is not a smart guy. I think he's a smart guy as well. I think the end game here is to enforce and regulate the exchanges, because otherwise you're chopping off the Hydra's heads and they're all coming back. If you just go after Ripple, Library, one at a time, there's just 5 more are gonna pop up because the technology is that good. So I just think that the end game here is to regulate the exchanges, because that's the only way to attack the body of crypto. And so I think that's what they're going for. And I think that's why their arguments are so strange, and, you know, because they're really trying to say one thing, but they just can't say it because it's ridiculous. And so that's why their pleadings come across as, you know, they have all these weird arguments in your pleadings where you go, what are they even trying to say? And that's why they won't agree to certain things, because they can't agree to those things, because the end game here is to regulate the exchanges, because if they can regulate the exchanges, they can regulate everything.
Listen, this is a coordinated attempt. You guys know that 6 months ago I said it would be by the end of the year, and technically it's true because of FTX. Even though that's not how I envisioned it, I said that an exchange would be sued. And I think they went after Wowie, right? They first Ripple, Library, Dragon Chain. They get 100 million from BlockFi, and they go after Wowie, and they say these 9 tokens are securities, but they don't go after Coinbase, who's listing those 9 tokens. It's because they're building momentum for in my opinion, for the final one. And the final one may be a Binance. They seem to be the narratives being pushed against Binance right now, where an exchange, whether it's Coinbase, whether it's Binance US, whether it's a couple of them. Unfortunately, I think that's the end game, because you keep hearing him say, when I say him, I'm talking about Gary Gensler, the runway's running shorter, the runway's shorter and shorter, they're running out of time. But what did the BlockFi settlement accomplish? There's no registration that took place. There's no policy that was implemented. They got taxed 100 million. And so I think that's the end game. And that's why they won't agree to secondary market sales by users are not securities, because they want to control that secondary market through the exchange. So I'm with Jeremy on that, obviously.
for such a big thing that they want to accomplish, to be able to regulate all exchanges and essentially just pretty much crush the cryptocurrency market, do you feel that they have, like, that's a big goal they're trying to accomplish? That's like the big holy grail. Like, are they willing to really risk it all? Do they have a strong enough case to win this whole thing? Is it a good enough gamble for them at this point to really do that? I mean, the stakes sound so high for them if that's their end goal. Like, could they really risk it, like, to get a decision for what they're really wanting? It sounds like you would be more strategic to finalize that at the end rather than to roll the dice so hard on that big of a thing.
Well, I think the time's running out for them as well. I mean, the SEC doesn't have forever in order. If this is a power grab, which all indications are it is, the SEC wants to regulate. They want to take it all in and regulate everything except Bitcoin, apparently. So, you know, if they just keep chopping at the Hydra's heads and just take on another couple projects, yeah, they could get some more wins under their belt. But how much time do they have left? Because at some point, either they're going to lose because legislation's going to come out, which affects this, or, you know, there'll just be too many projects for them to be effective. So, you know, I don't think the SEC has as much time as I think we think, and I think they realize that. So I agree with John that, you know, a crypto exchange is going to be getting sued very soon.
Yeah.
You know, when you see a Goldman Sachs or a JP Morgan buy a huge percentage of Coinbase or one of these other exchanges, then you know that.
What are the assets from FTX? That's weird. That's kind of convenient, right? It's a weird oddity. It just like collapses and we'll come in. But anyway, blockchain background. I want to move along, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Make sure we get the.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.